Okay, we are live now. Let me just open up YouTube so I can give you a link so you can have access to the stream forever. It's going
Thank you.
to be recorded so you can reference it and read.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I'm going to take,
Nice person.
yeah, and then I'm going to take the link to this room and I'm going to put it in the YouTube live chat. So anyone who So sometimes YouTube sends people to us. So um so then they see the link and they come to the room and they debate us live. But it happens seldom. It seldom so happens. Let me check the yeah, everything sounds good. All right.
All right.
So you think education is good. It's good to educate children.
Yeah, it's good. Education's good. It's not abusive.
Hmm.
I think sometimes you can maybe point to flaws in the system where it can become like psychologically damaging to children.
Hmm.
But other than that, I think education is inherently meant to develop
Hmm.
people's minds. So that's a good thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
As long as the knowledge is accurate, then that, and as long as the everything's like within a consistent model, everything's relevant and coherent, and it's useful. Knowledge is useful. Sometimes knowledge can be, uh, I guess, not useful, and then that would be like a waste of time. But in general, I think education helps people, uh, I guess, understand the world, and they're able to think about the world critically because of their education.
You're a
So
leftist.
yeah, I think that's quite good.
You're a Biden voter. Let me. I guarantee it. Do you? You don't have to say if it's true or false, but I sense the presence of a Biden voter, as they say. Ask me how I know this.
Um,
It's not important. This
I
is.
actually,
I don't mean to intimidate you or annoy you. I'm just letting you know that your view of the world there is a subliminal, or there is a substructure in your brain that leads you to the conclusion you just presented. So that which you have just presented to me, to us, that's just a symptom of a substructure in your brain. What do you think?
um,
And do you know what it is, or do you care what it is? Because we're if we'd be debating education, we would be debating the
yeah.
symptom of the of your worldview, and maybe we should debate something deeper, and maybe we can psychoanalyze you, prognosticate if you want, if you care, if you're curious. You don't. It's up to you.
I mean, I think that's kind of meta. Like,
It's up to you. It's whatever you want.
certainly we're going to have different leanings based off of what seems to be correct politically. I'm actually more of a Green Party platform supporter rather than a major party supporter. I think the Green Party is in line with my sort of viewpoint on ethical education and ethical educational outcomes, and very progressive as well. Like the Green Party supports a tuition-free college experience for American students. Um, they are opposed to the privatization of schools, so that gives the public more control and oversight over the education systems, which I think is really important. Um, they have, uh, like I said, progressive stances on tuition and loans, and I think it's just generally like supporting the benefit. Like the Green Party is going to support educational systems based off of their reach, their integration with social and emotional learning, and their utility, like programs that are in the sciences and in the economy, and also in the arts. So I feel like that's more my stance. And I feel like people in general have different mindsets. Yeah, like we're all subject to different political messaging in our life, and it's really easy to make a distinction between like left and right, but politics are not necessarily binary in that way. It's more nuanced. There's different stances and different positions that aren't just black and white, left or right. So I don't know. I feel like the Green Party platform is just based off of a more holistic and objective lens on how to ascertain the truth about what education is and what role it plays in our societies. Yeah.
Fascinating. Hmm. So, do you want to discuss specifically education or the general, everything you just presented now? Hello.
Um.
Wait, let me just
Well, most.
welcome Clara.
Oh
If
yeah.
we're discussing education, we're debating the education system for now. Go on, Shoshi.
Hi. Um. Just basically that education is good if it's true and useful information. And I think that a slogan like education is good is still valuable in society, um, because I think that it's good to be educated and it's good to be intelligent and it's good to have critical thinking. So to promote the idea that education is just at basis something good becomes self-fulfilling or becomes self-referential in that sense. Um, I feel like education has the capability of changing people's lives in society and in the economy to increase well-being for them in their lives. And so education is actually like very crucial and instrumental in that endeavor. Without education, we would be left in the dark, so to say, and we would be left with many questions unanswered and leading to lower degrees of health and well-being in society. So yeah, education is actually very key to our survival in a lot of ways.
Huh. I see from your profile picture that um, you are trans, or you just have long hair.
Both. I'm trans and I have long hair.
Mhm. Are you a vegan?
No,
Not at
not
all.
a vegan.
Totally not a vegan.
Nope. I have some chicken in the fridge. Actually, I'm gonna prepare for dinner tonight. I'm gonna eat some bird.
Hmm. Do you have a cat?
No, I don't have any cats.
A dog?
Unfortunately, I'd love to have a cat.
Hmm.
I have a dog.
Hmm. Fascinating. Okay. So
I have a cute little chihuahua. A little too
that's
loud sometimes, but yeah,
hmm
he's cute.
hmm okay. So I'll tell you. Um, I think children, as soon as they can do anything productive for society, they should get a job, not go to work. I think if they want. If they want, they can go to school. The children should be free like all citizens. If they want, they should get a job, start their lives. If they want, get married, do whatever they want. We shouldn't stop children from doing whatever, like, just we should treat children like mature adults. Whatever they want. I mean, if a child says no, I want you to protect me, so of course we protect him, her, them. If they right, we I don't know, but you probably also believe that a child that wants to have a sex change operation, are you pro children getting sex change operations?
Technically, yes.
Okay.
I think that a sex change operation can happen in like basically around age 16. That would still be considered child.
Why not
I think
earlier?
that in a
Why
plural,
why 16? Why not earlier? What if a 6-year-old wants to have a sex change operation? Are you against that?
I think that I don't know. I mean, just intuitionally, like there's no real necessity to have a sex change operation before a person has secondary sexual characteristics. So,
But
like
I hear that.
generally,
Mhm.
the bodies of children are similar. So that's like when you go through puberty, you might like grow a bunch of hair on your body if you're like male, if you have male testosterone. So that would be some kind of like reason to have a sex change operation or a gender reassignment surgery, as it's called today. So it's like for those things, there's going to be underlying justifications like dysphoria, etc., which are not present
But
prepubescent.
why?
That kind of
Wait a minute.
are not present
16,
prepubescent.
but 16 is not. But you're making a lot of noise. But 16 is not the age of. Who's making the noise?
Well, this age 16 is like documented as successful vaginoplasty has happened with a 16-year-old patient. So I think that's a good like baseline. Although in a pluralistic society, you might just go with 18, as that 18 is generally considered the age of like bodily consent. Like the per individual is informed enough around age 18.
What
So
if a child?
like
What if a child?
16 to
One second.
18, I think, and that's
Let's.
generally considered a child still, right? Yeah, it's like late
I mean,
pubescence, I guess. Yeah.
the whole point is that if you come and say, well, until this age, whatever, a child doesn't have their own mind, so we'll treat them like, I don't even know like what. I mean, that we don't even treat them like chickens. Like even a chicken, before you butcher it, you still, you don't ignore its will. We usually, treat animals as if they have a brain. But children, you come and say, until the age of 18, we're going to treat them as if they have no brain. We're going to completely ignore their will. We don't care what they want. We're going to decide for them. We're going to put them in school because we decided that it's good for them. If they want to have a sex change operation, no, we don't care. When they turn 18, then you are deciding what's good for them. So why 18 or 16? So you're saying it's because of the age of what do you call it when you start developing sexually?
Secondary sexual characteristics, like
No, but
for females, it would be
no, but it
breast
has
development, and for males, it would
no,
be
but
hairy
there's
chest,
another name
like
for
that.
that. There's like you go puberty. So you're saying that puberty is your
Yeah.
decision, is your the time when you decide. So so according to you, if a child goes, why puberty? Sex change. If a child wants to cut their pee off at the age of 6, why do you care? How is it your business?
Um, well, there's, like I said, it has to do with the justifications. I'm not trying to like pry into other people's businesses. I'm
But you
saying that in
are.
general,
But you
these,
are. What do you mean in general? A
well,
child
yeah,
really wants says
like I
nothing.
don't really care
What do you mean?
if a
So
person is
what?
6 years old and they want
So
to have sex
what do
change
you
or
mean you
not.
don't care?
That's none of my business.
What do you mean it's none of your
But in
business? So
general, from a
you do
general
care.
principle,
One second, you
because
do
we're talking
care.
about generalities here.
Why? I didn't talk about
Well, I care about
generalities.
the generality,
Why
the
do you
general
care about
principle,
generalities? Why? And why? So why is the generality
because it's
not?
justificatory.
What do you
I'm
mean?
providing the justification.
What do you what do
You
you
because you
what do you
asked.
mean justification? You're just providing a general rule. No one asked you for a general rule. You're coming
Exactly.
up. What do you mean exactly? You're deciding to come
So
up.
in general,
Mhm.
for people that want to have surgeries, there's going to be some justification for those surgeries.
How
I
is
don't
it
even
your
care who wants to.
business?
I'm just saying that
How is it your
when people want
business?
to do that,
Look, a child can
I don't even
go.
care.
What do you
I
mean?
actually
A
don't
child,
care.
look, a
Like,
child can,
I
one
mean,
second.
if it's going to be like, if my sister has like a child and their child wants to have a sex assignment surgery at 6, yeah, sure, I'm going to care about them because they're my nephew or my niece. But
How is it
if
your
it's not
business?
that,
Even
and
if it's
it's
your
more
child,
in general, because
how is
they're
it?
my family, because
How,
that's my sister's kid.
so
Like that's
what?
definitely my
So
business. Like
what? Even if it's your
that's my
child,
family.
even if it's your child, how is it your
Yeah,
business? It's
well, if
another.
it's my child, it's
You
definitely my
don't have.
business.
Why
Like,
would you have a
the heck?
say? Why, who gives you a say? You cannot murder the child. You cannot sell the child. You cannot buy children. You don't have a say about many things. Why should you have a say if they cut their pee off? You agree that a child can go home and cut their pee off with scissors or with a knife. So they can
No,
cut
that's
their.
ridiculous that you would
What
assume
do you
that.
mean? They can cut their pee off. You can't stop it. You can't stop them. They can
You're
do it.
asking me why you're asking me why parents would have a say in their child's decisions for medical decisions or legal decisions.
Anything, any
There's
decision.
definitely justification
I'm
for that.
presenting you with the alternative. I'm
Well,
saying
it's
children should
called
be. Wait, let me again.
guardianship.
Okay, so again, I'll present. I'm against that. I'm presenting my proposition. Children should be viewed as adults for all intents and purposes from the time that they say, I want to be treated as an adult. We shouldn't have a say in an adult's life. We shouldn't have a say in a person that says, get out of my life. I don't want you interfering. I don't want your guardianship. I don't want your protections. I want to do what I want to do and stay out of my way. Get out of my life. So as soon as as soon
Yeah, I
hmm,
would recommend against that
why?
idea because of the maturity of children's brains and their cognitive understandings
Yeah, but
about like
some children,
like
some so some children are smarter
questions.
than many adults. You know, I've met many children that at the age of 4 are geniuses, very brilliant, well-rounded geniuses.
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
we should respect their voices. I definitely agree with that.
Why would
But to
you?
treat them entirely as,
How is
can
it
I
your
please finish
business?
my
How is
sentence?
it your business to begin with? Who are you to interfere with somebody else's life? Would you like me
I'm
to
their
interfere
parent.
with your life? I'm sure you wouldn't like it. So why are you interfering with somebody else's life?
So it's a duty. It's sort of like this is my child, so I have a duty to care and provide guardianship for my children.
Look, you wouldn't
It's
like
also
it.
about
Answer the
supporting.
question.
It's
Answer
also about.
answer
Please
the question.
finish. May I please finish?
But you're
It's
not
also
answering my
about
question.
supporting their.
What?
I am answering your question. Can I
Okay.
please finish?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. So, how is it anybody's business to get involved with their child's decision making? And I'm saying there's a element of care, like it's a duty of a parent to care for their child. It's just like a
Yeah.
biological
Yeah, but the
intuition
child, let's say
to be
the
the
child is a
guardian there.
genius.
So that's one. That's
Let-
one. That's
what?
one. I'm still not done talking. I
Okay.
have several things to mention here. So that was
Several.
one.
Let's just do one at
Yeah,
a
I do. I have a
time.
couple things
It's going to
here.
be difficult to
So
debate.
no, no, you've been asking me like several questions, so I have several
No,
answers.
one at a
That's how that
time.
works.
I
So there's one, the guardianship duty. Two, the development of the child's cognitive capabilities and also their social and emotional learning. So because children do not have those skills, uh, in advance, they learn those from society, including their moral and ethical stances. And so that's where education comes in. So education is not just institutional; it's also familial. And so this is why parents have a legitimate role. And I mean, it's actually necessary, without which the children's survival possibilities go way down. So it's necessary for their children to have this parent, this person guiding and being part of their life. There, I'm done.
okay.
Thank you.
Let's try to do like a back and forth, so like a ping pong. So let's keep it to short sentences, because otherwise it's going to be like monologues, and that's less fun. I think it's less productive, in my opinion. You don't want to do that?
Well, yeah, I think I gave a pretty concise response just now. That was one, maybe 2 minutes.
Okay, I usually try to keep mine to and okay. Usually when somebody else, when my opponent interferes when I speak, I stop immediately and I listen. That's it. That's usually my rule of how I conduct conversations. It makes for a faster conversation, a more efficient conversation. So you would say something.
Well, I think I answered your question directly. You asked how's it anybody's business to interfere with their children's decision-making capabilities. So I think I gave a pretty good answer. I gave
I,
several reasons.
I
I don't think
I'll
that
tell
I
you the
provided too
truth.
many.
I'll tell you the
Yeah.
truth. When you go on and on and on, and I really want to respond to the first point, so I just wait until you finish, and I get lost in, I'm not gonna memorize all the points you bring up, so it's gonna just be a slower debate because I'm just not gonna be able to respond to everything you say. So yeah, we're gonna be here as long as you want. You will be able to bring up all your points. So, but in order for it to be a productive debate and not just two monologues, I recommend my methodology that I stop as soon as you interrupt me. I stop immediately and I listen. I think it's just a better way, but fine, it's up to you. Okay, so I asked you a question. I don't know what the answer was, so I'll ask again. So I'm sure you wouldn't like it if I interfered in your life. So why are you interfering with other people's lives?
Um, so that's not necessarily true. If I was able to receive some kind of support in decision making, I would welcome that intrusion into my life, no problem. And
Exactly.
I think the same holds true for kids. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Kids want to be guided. Kids want that intrusion
Not
upon
this.
their lives,
Not true.
especially
Not
it's an
true.
instinctual, it's an, well, I mean, there's lots of case study here that when kids are provided with structure, that they thrive.
That's irrelevant.
And it seems to be the
That's
case that kids are skeptical of structure in the
that's
beginning
irrelevant.
stages of instilling those structures. And then over time, they express their gratitude for the structure itself
That's
via
irrelevant.
either by like direct dialogue, directly thanking you for the structure, or by indirect means. So yeah, structures provide support and answer ambiguity and vague uh, events in life. They provide answers to key questions on
Okay, but
survivability and moral and ethical development in society.
all right.
So kids like structure,
I
actually.
said it's
They want that
irrelevant.
intrusion.
I said it's irrelevant. There's no point in you continuing going on. I said it's irrelevant. You might as well ask me why I feel it's irrelevant. Anyway, everything you just said is
No,
what?
it's I've given actual like justifications for my position, and it doesn't really interest me as to why you would think those justifications are irrelevant. I know that the justifications are relevant. So, in order for you to demonstrate that they are irrelevant, you would have to provide some kind of argument against the justifications that I have provided in this debate, sir.
I'm just saying, when you present a claim and I say, even if it's true, it's irrelevant, and you continue presenting the claim and the evidence for the claim, I already told you it's irrelevant. You might as well stop and ask me why I think it's irrelevant. Then maybe I'm wrong. Then maybe you can go back and present your evidence to support your claim. It's just
I'm waiting for some kind of valid argument against the justifications that I've provided
I'm
that
just fine.
prove
Yes, I
they're
will.
basically evidence that proves that parents have a legitimate necessary role in their children's lives.
Look, I'm just saying it would make a more productive conversation if it would be more like ping pong and less like monologues. Anyway, so what you just said is irrelevant. I'll ask you again, or you said sure. If you would interfere with my life, I might appreciate it if I feel that I need help. Yeah. I didn't say that let's not help children even if they ask for help. I'm just saying let's treat children like adults. If a child says, "Get out of my life," then just as we would get out of an adult's life, we should get out of a child's life. If the child says, "You know what, help
Wrong.
me," go on.
Wrong.
What?
Yeah, that's wrong.
Okay, explain.
If my child who's 6 years old says, "Get out of my life,"
Hmm.
this would mean that I would have to put the child out on the street, and that's wrong. There's a legal responsibility for grown-ups to their children
That's not true.
to take care of the child
That's
until
not true.
they're a certain age. That's
That's that,
true.
that's
Yeah,
that's not
it's
true.
legally you're legally
That's not
bound.
true. That's
It's
different.
true.
Wait, okay, so
Yes.
no,
It would be called, neglect or abandonment,
I
and you would go to
agree.
jail or pay
That's
fees, that kind of
that's
thing.
irrelevant. We're not
So there's one
discussing.
justification that you
No, that's
couldn't do that
irrelevant. I'm telling
practically
you, it's
speaking.
irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant. This is directly
Let me
challenging the
let me
thesis.
explain.
You seem to be hand waving it away.
What?
You're just guilty of a fallacy and sophistry. Oh my God, you're starting to waste my time.
I am guilty of a
This is completely
fallacy.
relevant. Like when I answer your query directly face on without any equivocation or straying from the topic, it's not irrelevant. It's starting to frustrate me.
Really?
Grr. Yeah, kind of.
No, I'm not.
Kind of are.
What? I'm sorry. Look, I'm not trying to frustrate you. I'm trying to make the discussion more efficient. That's all. I just don't want to waste time. I want to be efficient. If you say something and I feel the claim is irrelevant, so let me explain. I'm not here to offend you or get you upset. That's not why I'm here. That such content. That's not the type of content that I make. I make deep. I have deep conversations with people. You can go to my channel and look. I never play games. I try to be as deep as possible. And I really believe what I say. I mean, I've, I'm not trying to get you upset.
I sure would like to believe you, but you keep saying that all my relevant claims are irrelevant. And then you're not even showing how they're irrelevant.
No, because you're
That's why I'm
you're
getting frustrated
because
with
you're
you.
you're threatening to leave, so I need to step out of the conversation and explain to you that I'm not here to offend you or to cause you to leave or to get you upset. I really want to tell you how I feel, and I really understand. I want to hear and listen to how you feel, and I really want to change your mind. I really want you to try to change my mind. No, I really want to have a good conversation. I don't want to get you upset. That
It's
would
too
be.
late. I already am.
I'm sorry.
How how are you going to amend this
Okay, I'll
situation?
try. You tell me. Okay, but if I feel your point is irrelevant, well, I shouldn't say that it's irrelevant. What? I don't know what to do then.
No, you're actually fair to say if something's irrelevant, but what you need to do is explain why it's irrelevant.
But you keep.
Instead, you're saying that's irrelevant, and I'll ask you the question again, and that's hand waving.
No, I'm saying,
So if you're going to say that what I'm saying is irrelevant, you have to explain how it's
of
irrelevant.
course. But you went.
How is
But
okay?
you didn't stop when I said irrelevant multiple times. You didn't stop. I'm trying to get you to stop so we can.
I am stopping now that we've had this conversation about monologuing.
Okay.
Yes, I've heard every single point that you've made, and I'm keeping all my points. If I have several points, they're all concise and relevant to the topic.
Okay.
Relevant.
No, of course, what you're saying
That's why I'm
is
getting frustrated.
no. Of course, your claims seem relevant. I'm sure you feel they are relevant, and I'm
They are relevant.
I'm well, but I feel fine. But I feel they're not. I understand that you feel they are.
Why should a parent have a say so in a child's life? The answer? Because cognitive and emotional development. See how relevant that is to the question that you've asked? It's about justifications for being present or intruding, as you say, upon a person's life. So parents intrude upon their children's life
Yes,
all the damn time,
I'm
all the
all
fucking
I'm
time,
all for it.
justifiably so.
I'm all
If
for
there was
it.
no justification, then that would be
I'm
against the law.
I'm
Yeah.
all. And let's ignore the law. we're having a first principles discussion. So
Sure.
let's ignore the current state of the universe. Let's rethink the
Sure.
universe. Okay.
All right.
So so I agree that the parents should want, or it is the responsibility of the guardian to take care of the child. But taking care of the
Yep.
child is just like taking care of anyone else. Like right now, I am taking care of you. I'm doing my best to
What?
be not. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing my best right now to be nice to you, to be hospitable, to give you a good and enjoyment from of this conversation. I'm taking care of you. I'm not here to hurt you.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
here to offend you. I'm not here to make you feel bad. So my experience in this,
Okay.
I'm always whatever interaction I have with anyone in the universe, if I can, I try to make it positive. I try to make a positive impact on everyone in the universe. Every cat.
Cheap tranny nigger has a dilated pussy and it's full of maggot. Cause he.
Route, you're interrupting the car. Thank you.
Yeah, that was weird. Anyway, um, so the same goes to any child that I come across or any child of mine that I would try to be a positive impact on this child just until the point that the child says, "Get out of my life." Now, you said if the child says, "Get out of my life," I would have to abandon the child in the street. And I said, that's not true.
It is
That
true if you're providing shelter to the child, because then you would still be in their life.
No, no. When a child says, "Get out of my life," they don't mean put me on the street and disappear. What they mean is,
But you would,
Mhm. Go on.
but if they say get out of my life and you're providing shelter to them, you would technically still be in their life. And in order for you to get out of their life completely, you would have to not provide shelter to the child. Otherwise, you would be in their life as a shelter provider.
Fine.
So that's
Look,
that's actually a valid conclusion. That's
yes.
why getting out of a child's life when they're like incapable of providing their own shelter is immoral.
Yes. So if a child says, "Get out of my life," so usually they mean stop being a helicopter mom. Stop getting into under my fingernails. Stop talking to my friends. Stop interacting with my social network. Stop talking to my, and so on. To my, they mean get out of my life relative to how involved you are in my life now. Stop telling me what to wear. I don't need you. Like a child, a 6-year-old girl might say, "Thank you very much, mommy and daddy, that you brought me up thus far. From now on, I want a little less involvement." So I think I demand that the parents should listen to the child and do as the child says and be less involved as much as the child wants. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying abandon the child. The child says, "Leave me alone." That doesn't mean abandon me. It says, Mhm.
Yeah.
Go on.
So yeah, now we're talking about like degrees.
Yes.
Helicopter mom is somebody who is involved in every decision, and it's true.
Mhm.
Now you're making a good point. Like we parents have to constantly monitor the balance between being involved in our children's decisions and giving them the autonomy to make the decisions on their own.
Mhm.
And that's where it becomes like a difficult part to be a parent where you have to determine where the nuance is. And sometimes you get it right, and sometimes you get it wrong. Sometimes you
Mhm.
get it wrong where you should have been there. Sometimes you get it wrong where you've been there too much.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that that process goes on even all the way up until the person is fully developmentally, like 24, 25. So expect your parents to be involved in your life until you're about 24, 25, with increasingly less responsibility over the course of time.
Look.
And 18
Mhm.
is kind of like that magic age, I think, that
Why?
we've
What do you mean
discovered.
magic? What do you mean magic? Why 18? Well, what happens at
It's
18?
magic because it's magical
Somehow.
because somehow it's magical because somehow all of society,
I don't
many different
care. We're
societies
rebuilding
have
society
the
from the beginning. I
oh
don't
my
care.
God, you interrupted me again. I'm just gonna leave if I get interrupted again. I'm tired of getting interrupted by you. I'm gonna say my sentence and then you have to trust me that I'm gonna finish talking in ample time, sir. Okay? Is
Uh,
that okay with you?
Come on. No, I stop. Stop with the threatening. I mean, if you want to leave, it's
No,
okay.
I will not stop.
You can stay, you can leave, you can do whatever you want. I mean, I'm not interrupting you to get you upset. So I just,
Last chance.
oh my God.
It's your final chance, sir.
No, I don't like living on the edge.
Well, then behave better.
No, no, I'll just look, I'll send you a friend request. We can freeze the discussion right now and continue some other time because I don't like being threatened that if I make a mistake you will leave. I don't like it like that. I like being with friendly people who are like who don't cut me out of their lives or whatever. Leave a conversation because I misbehaved according to their.
Yeah, well, I have boundaries. So if you're unable to process that a person has boundaries, then maybe we shouldn't be having this conversation.
I understand. I mean, but these boundaries are. I mean, these are very difficult boundaries for me to uphold. Uphold to respect. I mean, I respect the boundaries. I'm not, but it's. I think when you have a debate with another person, then interrupting is okay. I just, I don't understand why, a lot of people hate in being interrupted. I don't understand why.
Yeah, you interrupt too much. Like a little bit's fine, but you're interrupting like almost every sentence that I'm saying.
So,
Go back and listen to the tape. And like, I'm trying to be fair. I want to answer your questions, but I can't answer every question. And I can't even get a sentence out. That's why it's frustrating. I've vocalized my frustration to you several times over.
why
And see, you're interrupting again. Whenever I vocalize a boundary, you complain about too many boundaries. And that's just what I'm saying. I think maybe we should part ways, Maybe we shouldn't uh do that. Maybe we shouldn't do that where we have a conversation anymore because some people just can't accept other people's boundaries. What it seems like.
wait. So, do you feel frustrated right now?
Yeah,
I don't. Like I'm really
I do.
okay, but I would
I get
like
uber
you.
frustrated.
I understand. So let's have a more relaxed environment. Why does it have to be if you interrupt me one more time, I'm leaving? Why? It's that's like a very harsh relationship. So
That's the way it has to be.
you're making me uncomfortable.
Either,
You're
sure,
you're making me you're causing me like anguish. Like now I have to be on
sure. I
what?
understand.
How is that good?
How about I just leave to
Why?
make it better for you? Better for both of us. I'll just leave. Well, I don't want you to make you feel uncomfortable.
No,
Then
I,
leave.
I don't want you to leave. I want to continue the conversation.
Well, then let's just acknowledge each other's boundaries and move on. Simple.
But
So,
how
what do you
can
believe that you would like to debate on?
we're debating? Shoshi, do you want to
Oh,
explain the topic?
yeah, education is good. That's my whole premise. Education is good, and so I've been justifying education. Uh, and part of the justifications of my opponent is that we shouldn't impose or we shouldn't infringe upon the rights of our children when they actually say, leave me alone or something like that.
Can
We
I
should
give
always,
you a really a take on this that you might find interesting?
sure, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay, so education. is the gaining of more knowledge. Okay.
Hmm.
And if you say that
Education is what? Sorry, I kind of.
Gaining knowledge.
education is the gaining of more knowledge, right?
Gaining knowledge, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you say gaining knowledge is bad, then you are also saying that you know that gaining knowledge is bad, correct?
Okay.
Correct.
So if you know that knowledge is bad, isn't that contradictory?
No. My position is that knowledge
You
is bad.
you know
Yeah.
let me put it this way. Is it a good thing? Is the truth good?
No. The truth is bad.
Yes.
The truth is bad. Is that your
Yes.
position?
Yes.
Wow. Is it the truth that the truth is bad?
Yeah, that's the
According to
truth.
this guy, it is.
Yeah. Hmm. But I need to finish the sentence. The truth is bad, as Einstein taught us. You always have to say relative to what? Oh, the guy left. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Maybe he is having a bad communication day, a bad network day. Sometimes it happens to them.
Yeah, sometimes. It's a sad day sometimes for that when that happens.
Yeah, yeah. So so do you understand? Can you fathom why I would say that knowledge is bad, and how could this be related to Einstein?
Um, so knowledge is traditionally understood as beneficial to the system. So it seems incoherent to claim that knowledge could even be bad.
Hmm.
But I think that there's some knowledge that can cause like anxiety. For example, if you knew the date that you would die, that would cause a lot of stress in your life. So it's better not to know when you're going to die.
No,
Um,
I mean,
sometimes you're
even your knowledge of the theory of general relativity is a bad thing. Knowing, studying the
no
theory, yes.
justify that.
So, as Einstein taught us, there are no absolute values. Everything must be relative, otherwise, it has no meaning. So, when you say good or bad, that's half a sentence. You have to say relative to. So, if instead of working and being a productive member of society, I waste my time and I sit at home and study the theory of relativity, then that's bad relative to going to work, making money, and paying the bills. That's what I mean.
So that's not the scientific fact being inherently bad.
No,
That's you wasting your time.
nothing is
The
inherent.
wasting your time is bad.
Nothing. No,
But
not that's
well, that's okay. So nothing is inherently good or bad.
exactly. Everything is relative to.
All right.
So
So you're a moral relativist then.
I'm a
Okay.
relativist. Period. I'm an Einsteinian. Everything must be stated as relative, otherwise it has no meaning. To claim that I'm moving forward has no meaning unless I say relative to the floor. There is no motion. There is no location. There are no absolute values without relating, without saying relative to. If you are in outer space and you don't see any stars, any moons, any planets, how do you know? What does it mean to be moving in any direction or to be located in any place if you have no way to relate your location to any other into anything else? If the universe were empty, you were the only one in the universe, then what does it mean to be in any place or to move in any direction? It has no meaning. So things have no meaning. To be tall has no meaning unless you're saying I'm tall relative to that short guy. I'm tall relative to a population. Just being tall, that's meaningless. You have to, sometimes the relative to is implicit. But so education, saying education is good is nonsense. You have to compare it to an alternative. So usually adults don't go to get education because relative to the alternative, it's bad. It's bad to get an education if you can get a job and make money and enjoy your life. Education is stagnation. You're not being productive. Sometimes education is relatively good relative to the alternatives. But at the end of the day, it's up to the person. So the child needs to decide whether it wants to get a job or go to school. I think most children would choose to go to work, make money, and start a life, an independent life. I certainly would have enjoyed it as a child since the age of 4.
Yeah, I think that's 100% ridiculous to say if a 4-year-old says, "Get out of my life," that we should get out of their life, and that'll be the right thing to do. I think that's completely ridiculous.
Okay,
There's
I grew
there's
up in
degree
I grew up in an extremely abusive household.
there's there's the so yeah, we're not talking about
Why?
anecdotes. We're
What
talking
do you
about
mean?
generalities.
When?
And
Why?
in general,
Why? Why
you're
would
interrupting
you?
again. You're not letting me finish again. Can I please finish?
You can do whatever you want
Hello?
if it makes you happy. Whatever makes you happy.
Okay, so finishing at least a few sentences would make me happy. Is that okay
Okay.
with you?
All right.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think it's ridiculous to say 4, 5, 6, all the way up to say 13, like 12. Be ridiculous to say if the kid says, "Get out of my life," that you're just going to be like, "Okay, I will get out of your life, no problem." I want to work, they say. I think that you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot. The child doesn't have comprehension abilities. So first of all, they're limited by their cognitive abilities. And at age 4, you are very limited in your cognitive abilities. Your social and emotional growth is very primary. And you don't even have the cognitive ability to understand what right and wrong is outside of punishment or rewards. So to say that, okay, let's let this 4-year-old make some moralistic decisions about their lives would be uh, would be crazy. It'd be like insane. So that's why it's ridiculous. So we understand that uh, at different stages of development, children have different levels of cognition and metacognition, and we respond according to the ability. And you might argue that sometimes a child might be full on ready at age 13. Let's say 13's a more like legitimate idea for comprehension. But that's just some intuitive like guess. There's no like empirical data there. I think the empirical data shows that around ages 18, children have actual like I guess cognitive capabilities to make decisions. They have all the information necessary towards massive decision making, including consent and etc. So 18 might be this age of consent, this age of like, okay, we can let children say, leave me alone, get out of my life, and we can honor that autonomy at that point, age 18. But I think scientifically, the research shows that all the way up to ages 24, 25, human beings are still incapable of particular conditions. So that's why we have family structures and familial family and friendship structures for those types of intrusion, partly because we are a social species and partly because our cognitive development doesn't reach full maturity until around age 24. So 4 years old, that's ridiculous, might start to make a case at around like the teenage years. I think pragmatically in a pluralistic society, we can go with like 18, 21, for particulars like drinking, taking drugs and doing alcohol, or buying cigarettes, or sexual consent. All of those things I think are pragmatic and around the limits that society has already dictated for 18, 21. I'm cool with that. That makes better sense. And then the empirical evidence is just going to show, okay, we actually don't mature until 24. So 4 years old is ridiculous. Crazy. Insane. You're nuts. Crazy. You're insane, sir. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
I'm done. I'm done.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, we're good.
So, so you, but let's say you have a child who is, let's say you have a child and, seems to be like, let's say a child at 4 has a YouTube channel, very successful, makes a lot of money, or has a business, a little child that's a good businessman, making money, whatever. And the child says, I don't want my parents. I've heard enough stories of parents that steal from their children. I want to have my own life. I don't want my parents in my life. My parents can be my parents, but I don't want them as guardians. I want to be independent. I want to move on. I want to create my business or my businesses. We can tell it's a smart child. So at 4 years old, why should we inhibit the child? Why should we interfere with whatever the child wants?
Um, Cognitive developmental limitations. I think that your hypothetical is imposing upon a 4 year old some kind of structure that is able to comprehend information around financial responsibilities, profit driven motives and incentives, and so forth. I'm not saying that uh, children cannot have these mindsets and approach economics in that way. Um, I'm saying that the systems are more nuanced and complex than what 4 or 5 year olds are typically capable of comprehending. So, in the hypothetical, if those children are um, have the cognitive capabilities, let's say that their intellect is smarter than the average, to the point that they comprehend all of these nuances in economic and financial stability and development, then yeah, I think that actually is a uh, somewhat common occurrence that children can have their own separate financial bank accounts set up by their parents and with assistance from their family, that kind of thing. So financial independence and security is something that already takes place. It's not really an important point to make in the conversation because those possibilities already exist. Um, but I think that the common answer is going to be no, because there are cognitive limitations to comprehension of these deep-seated systems that take a lot of nuance and social understanding to comprehend. Yeah.
So right now, if a 4-year-old wants to create a video channel, YouTube channel, I don't think they can. I think YouTube would block them.
Yeah, okay, their parents can do it for them.
No, but let's say
I don't see a problem there.
the child, doesn't like their parents. Their parents are, not good parents. The parents are disagreeing. The parents say, no, you should go to school. The child says, school is dumb. The teacher is dumb. I run circles around the teachers. So I don't want to waste my life. I don't want to waste the next 10 years, or
Sure, yeah.
I want to
Yeah, yeah,
start
yeah, yeah.
my life.
Guardianship.
Hmm.
They'll have some other guardianship, It's just
So the child should go to
it's fine.
court and convince a judge. Yeah?
Um, what do you mean? Go to court for what?
To remove the guardianship, or to have the state take guardianship, to do something to get someone. The child should be able to apply to a program, to a guardianship program, like Professor X. I think he takes guardianship in the superheroes, whatever, the X superheroes. What do you call them? The
X-Men.
the X.
The X-Men, yeah.
So in the X-Men, so they have like a home where all the children that they're given away. I think Professor X becomes the legal guardian.
That's basically adoption, though. That's not state run. I mean, it's state funded, but it's not state run.
Okay, I don't know. I'd rather have it privatized, but fine. But would Shoshi agree that the child should be able to go to apply to such a sponsorship program, to leave their parents and go to a school or a program? I wouldn't call it a school. I would go to the child would join a program.
I have a better idea. Why don't we just let children have bank accounts, but we criminalize overdraft for minors?
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, there we go. Now there's no financial risk.
I think that's my proposition. My proposition is to treat children like adults. I don't see why we don't treat children like adults.
Well, it's not about It's not about treating them exactly like adults. It's more about parents.
Wait, you're broken. Your audio is breaking up. Something is wrong.
Sorry. It's 1 second. It's more about teaching them for when they become adults. It's not about treating them as if they are adults, because they're not.
No, but let's say that the child.
Education.
But let's say the child.
No, not for
Education is
education
good,
necessarily,
yeah.
but like education is a
Teaching?
retarded way of doing it. It's more about pragmatic approaches
second.
and like life
You said,
experience.
you said the word teaching.
Yeah. Teaching doesn't inherently
So,
imply when
how
you
can
imply
how can
education. I assume you mean formalize. Yeah. So, for instance, you don't necessarily
Yeah.
need education in regards to teach someone something. You
They
can
mean
just
the
use life
same
experience.
thing. Teaching and
No, they don't.
education are the same thing.
Not inherent. So okay. So when
Yeah, they are.
well, colloquially speaking, they're not considered the same. So
And if you're talking about institutionalized education being retarded, you're going to have to justify that as well.
yeah, you want me to substantiate the inefficiencies of the public education system?
Yeah, if there's any flaws in some system,
Yeah, sure.
then we can say that the flaws need to be fixed. But in
Yeah,
general,
sure.
education is going to be a positive system, not
No.
retarded. The opposite
No.
of retarded.
So one thing it can do is there's often a tendency for most educational facilities to, rather than teaching children how to think, to teach them what to think, which leads to cognitive distance in adulthood. Right. This is the
Like
main
I
cause
said, the
behind
flaws
like
are-
most
so-
most cultural trends.
so we
Like
address
when
the
you talk about
flaws.
education is specifically like what I mean to say by that is modern education systems aren't good for this. They are not built for this. And they do not teach individuals how to function within a society necessarily, apart from like baseline principles. So it's like
yeah,
kind of
the thesis was education is positive. So
no.
education
So do you know
systems will have
so do you
these
know the
flaws.
difference
I'm in
betwixt?
the
Do
middle
you know
of
the difference?
talking. I was in the middle of talking. Please don't interrupt. So, in the sense of the conversation that we were having before you entered, is education a form of child abuse, or is education positive? Education is what we use to equip children with the necessary knowledge and skills for
Mhm.
participation in society, for their development. And it's not
Mhm.
limited to institutions. Institutions facilitate education,
Mhm.
but so do families and friends, etc.
Mhm.
So to say that that education in
Uh-huh.
and of itself is abusive,
Mhm.
that would be fundamentally flawed based off of the
Yeah.
definitions that
Mhm.
are set forth in the conversation. So
I never claimed it was
you might
child. I never
want
claimed.
to
Sorry, I never claimed it
inquire.
was.
You might want
I never
to
claimed it was
inquire
child
about.
abuse.
You
When
might want
did I
to.
mention abuse?
You might want to inquire about what the people were talking about before making blanket
Yeah, but
statements, because there's a whole
why?
context here to the conversation that we were having prior to your entry into the conversation.
Yeah. Okay. That doesn't. I don't really see the relevance about that.
Well, I mean, that's just short-sighted then on your part. I mean, that's actually discourteous of you. I'm telling you that there's a context to the situation
Right.
here. There is actually a debate, formal debate that was happening
Mhm.
between me and Mr. Slave Overlord. So yeah, it's just
Okay,
not
well,
good
first of all, this
practice
is an
to
open room, so it's
impose.
not bound to your
It's just
discussion.
bad practice for you to impose your
It's not
positions onto a previously.
bound to your discussion. And I'm only that's
Yeah,
why I was
I'm trying
only
to inform you.
communicating
I'm
in
trying to
regards
inform you.
to explicit
I'm trying to
language
help you
rather than
learn.
implicit language, because
I'm trying to help you
those
learn.
flaws can only come about
So I'm helping you
from
learn
implicit.
about what's being
Okay,
constructed
okay.
here. There's
This
already something being constructed here, some information that me and Mr. Slave have already constructed through
right.
understandings
That's
based off of
great.
our
This is
personal
but
interactions and
you're
our personal
ignoring
experiences.
the counter thesis.
And
So.
well, no, it's not even a counter thesis. It's just your view isn't even part of the consensus at the moment. It's
Well, I
in
don't
fact
care about the consensus.
you're
Let's appeal to
restating.
consensus.
Well,
This violates epistemic
well,
norms.
hold on.
That violates epistemic
I
norms.
don't.
That violates epistemic norms, Bob. So,
I'm appealing to like the courtesy of these public rooms.
yeah,
Besides,
no,
the
that's not
statements
that's
that
not
you're.
courtesy in this
Hold
public
on,
room,
hold
Bob.
on.
I hate to break it to you. Most public rooms, people don't give a shit about that. I'm just being real with you.
Yeah, but also in addition, there's some redundancy occurring here with the statements that you've provided, whereas there's no utility to the statements that you've provided, which is why it's generally considered
Yeah,
not just courteous,
that's like, first
but
of all,
has more
utility is an entirely
utility
subjective
to.
statement, and
So
utility
that's
is
why it's
predicated on the
considered
preposition of a
courteous
universal human
and
interest,
more
which does not
has
exist.
more
So, therefore,
utility
there is no such thing as an
to at
objective
least when
utility
you come
that can be applied to
into
a conversation, because the
conversation
idea of
that
universal
you take
interest
at
is already not
least
applicable to us as
in
a
the
species.
slightest
Bada
a
bing, bada
couple of
boom,
minutes,
debunked.
like a few 5 minutes, just
You're
to listen
monologuing.
to
I'm
people's
not gonna interact
conversation
with monologuing, because you're
before
just
you
monologuing about
interaction
something that,
with them.
quite frankly, no
You're
one's
talking
interested
over
in
me.
and is separate from the conversation. Yeah, because you're
Well,
monologuing,
you're
so
not
there's no point in
interested in
engaging with
it
you.
because
Who
you're not
here? Okay,
interested in it
let me
because
ask Mr.
you weren't
Slave then.
able
Let
to
me ask Mr.
impose.
Slave. Mr. Slave, are you
No,
interested in Shoshi's like retarded rant about courtesy, about like courtesy?
So yes, there is a substantial view on your part that would say like nobody's interested in
Are
that.
you
But
interested, Mr.
really,
Slave,
you're
in this
just
conversation
saying
about courtesy?
that
Does
you're
this
not
intrigue you?
interested,
Yes,
Does this entertain you?
and it's
Does
just
this
inconsistent.
yeah. I mean, everything is everything you said until now. Both of you is interesting. I'm engaged. I'm listening. I'm listening to everything.
okay? All right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Thank you.
listening.
Right, I see. That's surprising, actually. Because generally speaking, no one cares because you're
Well,
like projecting
that's just
your own
pessimism
interests
on
and
your part.
ideas of what courtesy is onto me and the general
No,
like
no, it's not
population of the
that.
server.
It's like we both belong to a culture, and so there's
No,
some
I
principles within
don't.
our culture.
I don't
Just
care
by
though.
virtue of us speaking the
That's
same language
really
implies
cool.
some moralistic
That's really
foundations
cool.
for
Yeah,
both.
that's really cool. I don't
Well,
care
you're just
though.
in
That's the
denial.
thing.
You're
It's
just in
like here's the
denial,
thing.
though.
Just because there's a preposition held by like a large group of people doesn't make it correct. So I don't particularly give a shit.
Right. This is just your subjectivity, which is making you like the awkward person out.
Yeah, and guess what? Just because a large group of people
I
believe
know you
something
don't
doesn't make
care.
it objective. It doesn't make it objective.
I'm
That's
not.
not how
Yeah,
objectivity works. Objectivity is
nobody's
not defined
talking
by
about
consensus.
metaethics, though. I already know how objectivity works. Like you're making,
I know. Yeah, okay,
like
Bob.
you're
So
making
why are
up
you
these
bringing up a bunch of
arguments here.
like collective subjective statements as
So
if I meant to give a fuck?
this idea of courtesy and
Mm-hmm.
utility is what I've appealed to. So
Right.
courtesy
I
is
don't
going to
share
be
the same idea
something
of
that
utility as you.
well, you asked me a question, so I'm going to answer your question.
I
So
never asked
when we
about
have
what you define as
when we
courtesy. I just
have
because I don't care.
no, you did ask me. Now you're trying to
No,
gaslight me
I
a little
didn't.
bit.
I didn't. What are you talking about? I'm not
You're backing up.
gaslighting you. What are you talking about?
You're
Gaslighting isn't
backing
real.
up. Yeah, you're saying I asked you, I
Gaslighting isn't
didn't
real.
say.
Gaslighting isn't real.
So that's the ultimate
No,
gaslighting. So
gaslighting is not real. What are you talking about?
So the reason why we would appeal to courtesy in the first place is to facilitate a smooth interaction between parties.
Define
All
smooth.
different parties can be
Objection. Define smooth.
um, like behavior that would make others feel comfortable. That would be
Okay,
defined
why?
as smooth. To facilitate a productive, constructive, informative conversation. As
Okay,
opposed to the opposite.
prove that those are like congruent. Prove that those are congruent.
So wait. let's go with informative would be would go with cooperative, and that would go with comfortable. So the more comfortable a person is, the more cooperative they are towards those smooth social interactions, thereby facilitating an easier cognitive ability to reflect upon different types of information, like
For other people,
cultural
right? Okay, so
information,
why should I care about other people?
societal information.
Right, but why should I care about
That's why,
societal
well,
information?
so that's why you're here in the first place. So
No,
there's an
it's not.
underlying principle that
No,
you're
I'm here for
interested in
Schadenfreude. No, I'm here for
societal information.
Schadenfreude. Nope,
So
I'm here
that
for
is a type
Schadenfreude.
of
No, that's not
type of
true. That's
societal.
not true. No,
Schadenfreude
substantiate
is
that claim.
a type of societal cultural norm because
That
Schadenfreude involves a
that's not
society
a norm.
by
That's
which you
antisocial. It
belong
involves
with.
a
Yeah,
society, yeah.
Schadenfreude. There's the joy in the shaming of others. So the key implication here
No,
is
not
the others
shaming.
is
It's just
the
about like
social.
general. It's just a general
Schadenfreude.
sadistic pleasure.
I
It's not.
mean,
It's not
like I
just
get,
about shame.
I
Etymologically,
do know
yes.
what
Definitionally,
Schadenfreude
no.
means here.
Etymologically, you're correct,
So
but
you're
definitionally, you're
being
incorrect.
impolite. You're being discourteous at the moment. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm answering all of
Mhm.
your questions with complete candor and honesty, and you're
That's cool.
consistently interrupting and like being oppositional.
You're
Like
you're
I
like
do know what
consistently
Schadenfreude. I
interrupting,
do
and
know. I do know what
I actually
Schadenfreude
do know. I
means.
actually do know what it means. Okay, continue.
So
Sorry, continue. Now, go on.
Schadenfreude is. I mean, I studied
Mhm.
German, so I definitely know what the word
Ja, ich
Schadenfreude
verstecken
means.
ein wenig Deutsch.
But back to courtesy, it's about
Ja,
promoting like a positive social behavior
okay,
in a
Bob.
positive social atmosphere. When individuals
Mhm.
are polite and considerate, that sets a standard of behavior that influences others in the positive.
Mhm. Right.
So
Why do I care?
I don't even think courtesy is optional. Like there's a dependency on the context here. So like for certain individuals that reject courtesy or reject common sense, like
Mhm.
morality in social
The
interactions,
common sense,
they're going to
morality,
display a
bro. This
low level
fucking
of
guy.
courtesy when they're
Oh my
expected
god.
to display high levels of courtesy in those interactions.
Why?
So I do
Well,
expect
when
some
I
variance here,
understand that.
but probably
Why
you
should
would
I? I'm
be an
just forgetting
example of the
the
most
part where I
variant
care.
norm.
Forgetting the part where I care. You see, because you see, here's the thing. This is all presupposing we have the same
Okay, so I
interests. I
cannot
don't have the same interests as you fundamentally.
call me back in an hour.
So interestingly enough, that proposition also rests upon your own set of presuppositions that I
Mhm.
would indeed take into account the facts that you're stating about yourself, but simultaneously contradicting yourself by saying that
No,
you don't care about the input and expecting others to care about the input that you provide too. So there's some
no, I
contradictory
don't
nature
expect you to
to
care.
those
That's like not
presuppositions,
in the sense
Overlord,
that
that you
no,
actually
no.
that you're
So
proposing here. Correct.
imagine for a second, right, that there is a goal to a particular conversation, right? And what you're trying to facilitate in order to gain whatever input that may be, right, is to achieve X goal. In your case, for like to be informative or to expand on any understanding of the world, whatever it may be. I don't particularly care because I just want to explain mine because I already know it's different to yours based on your psychological type. Basically, I want to come in here. I want to like just tear apart anything you put into me, right? On a logical level, but not for the sake of like getting any information or like any societal benefit or anything like that. Purely for the sake of just pure negation, right? Out of like spite, right? There's like nothing else to it. That's as far as it goes. You
So
clearly have a
that's
different set of
already
interests.
so well no, that's already falling into a category of interest that people bring to the table when entering into conversations. You are actually at the moment trying to shape opinions and behaviors of other users. So
I'm not trying to do that.
you've fallen in, yeah, you have, just by your own
No,
admission.
no, it's more
You're
about the
trying
process that
to
I'm doing
enhance
than like the the
you're trying to
actual.
enhance my understanding, like
Hmm.
trying to teach me a new skill right now. So
No,
you're
I'm
actually
not.
falling victim to that which you are critiquing,
Like I'm informing you of
performing a
what's happening. I
contradiction.
agree, yeah,
This is
but
called a
you're
performative
forgetting that the
contradiction.
prepositions the prepositions of what you're making
I've tracked
are
100%.
inherently based upon the idea that the end goal is congruent with yours, right? But the issue is,
Oh,
sure,
yeah,
I'm
no, I've
engaging
already
in your
conceded
end
that.
goal.
I
That's
think all
true.
of our end
I can
goals are either going
engage in the
to
end goal you're actually trying to
reduce
achieve,
to
whilst also trying to
courtesy
achieve my own, right?
or
Those aren't
or
two
utility.
separate. Those aren't things that's a full dichotomy. Right? Those things can occur
Yeah,
at the same time, right? But the
I'm
point
not
is,
saying that they
the point
can't
is,
occur at
I
the same
just
time. In fact,
right,
they
yeah,
do
yeah, okay.
they converge often. I mean, I've said that several
Yes,
times.
but you're forgetting like
Haven't forgotten.
fundamentally
Haven't
that I
forgotten.
don't
No,
have
no,
interests
I
within your
haven't
courtesy.
forgotten.
That doesn't,
Right,
you know.
but you're still falling into a learning and development schema and a persuasion and influence schema. These are schemas that we all share and we bring to the conversation. The courtesy
Mm,
schema is something that you're just rejecting. Like you're
yeah,
denying that it exists and you're rejecting it
yeah.
to your peril. You know, I doubt that you have
What
any
peril? What am I losing?
to your peril. Informative conversations.
Informative conversations with people who
Correct.
can't even engage in basic Hegelian dialect. Okay, right. Yeah, I'm really
Right, but this is
entertained.
part.
And
There's
that's
more to life than Hegelian dialect, friend. Like this is part of your problem here.
oh wow, oh
You're
yeah. There's so much to
unwilling
life about
to
understanding
you're unwilling to
like a
acquire new
run-of-the-mill
knowledge.
majority
Yeah.
population subjective perspective based inherently on collectivist tendencies I
Uh-huh.
can find on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you're providing so much right now. Yeah.
these biases that you bring are closing you off from it actually
Why
like
are there
a
fucking
deeper
cat hairs
connection.
in my mouth? 1 second. Ew.
So
Ugh.
yeah, I mean, I think that you're also bringing some kind of entertainment to Mr. Slave and myself.
No, that's because I don't have any issues with Mr. Slave. So I don't know why I would, I'm not against giving you entertainment as long
Well,
as
good.
there's like
So yeah,
some
so
degree of
in a
negation
sense,
to the concept you're
so
providing.
in a sense, you and I are on a collaboration right now.
Not really.
So
I mean, like maybe,
yeah,
I mean,
like
not on
you're
not
falling
on a conscious
into
level.
the
Not on a
schemas.
conscious level. No. There's a
You're
difference between
still
natural occurrences and like what like actually is achieved on like a conscious scale. Like those are just separate things. I mean, we're
but you
just
can't
arguing
escape.
semantics right now. But the point is,
Yeah,
you're
but
trying to like.
exactly. You can't escape the semantics. Exactly. You're
But
trying
the
to.
issue
There's no
with
way
what you're
for you to do
doing,
that.
the issue with what you're doing is it's inherently predicated upon the idea that your semantics are the objective layout, which is for reality, and that's just not true.
But please notice, though, that I paused and gave you a moment to complete your thought, and at the moment you're pausing
I
for
just
me, so you're actually
I don't
engaging in courtesy. When you
you know
catch yourself in the
yeah
performative contradiction, then you
I
start
kind of
to
need
escalate it
like
again,
input
which
if
is
I want to
more
react to it.
indication that you are in the performative
That's not true.
contradiction at the
I
moment.
kind of need
Yeah,
input if I want to react though. That's not how that works. I mean,
it is
then I don't
how
necessarily
it's
need the
working
full input,
perfectly.
but I need
Yeah,
input in order to like react to that. It's not predicated upon the idea of providing some sort of informative benefit. It's not predicated upon those ideas. Now it can result in these ideas, but the issue with what you're saying is the correlations you're drawing off of these are predicated in confirmation bias rather than any
Well,
actual
hold on
like
though.
reality.
Hold on though.
So if you could
If
provide me a
that's the case,
controlled study,
hold on though.
if you
Hold on,
can,
because I did actually appeal to courtesy and a secondary component, which is utility. So either way, you can't escape any of the two horns. Like this is what I'm saying. Either you're exhibiting high amounts of courtesy or high amounts of utility just by the virtue of being on this call. There's no way to escape the semantics. None.
I mean, you can definitely. I'm not saying I'm not contributing towards these things, right? I'm not saying I'm not contributing to some form of utility.
Yes, that's what I've been saying
No,
the whole
that's
time.
not.
You're
Yeah, I know.
contributing.
You're right. I get that. No, I get that.
You're
I'm just disagreeing.
contributing.
I'm just disagreeing with
100%.
you. I'm disagreeing with
Well, the
you
more agreeable you
based on like.
become,
I'm
the
no,
more
no.
you
I don't. No, you're
participate
not
and you
understanding what I'm
contribute.
disagreeing with you on. But you don't know
I
what
do
I'm disagreeing with
understand.
you
I'm
on.
tracking
I'm disagreeing with
100%.
you on what
The more that you
utility
deny
is.
that, the more you contribute, the more you're participating, the more you
But
fulfill
no,
the
because I'm
schemas.
denying. I'm
But
denying
yes,
what it is.
the
I'm
more no
denying what
you
it is
say,
like
the
what
more
the
yes you
utility
are.
is in favor for, or what it is, as well as like
Doesn't
the
matter though.
functions like specifically within the
So
conversation.
there's a
That's not how
primitive
that works.
understanding of these things. It's like we're having a first principle discussion. I mean, had you been paying attention to some of the context, you would understand that. But now you seem to be lost on these meta points.
But
Which
that's like
every
irrelevant.
meta point that you're making
is a contribution. You can't escape
That's
from
not
the truth
even.
of the
That's not really. I don't think you
metacognition
understand what I'm saying. I'm not
of a
denying that there is
conversation.
going to be a contribution to whatever utility you find in the conversation. I'm
Good,
just
since you're
denying the
not
idea that
denying
there is an
anymore. You're
objective standpoint
conceding.
of utility
I
in the
accept
first
your
place. That's all I'm
concession.
denying. It has nothing to
100%.
do with the fact that
Thank you for
this is
saying
happening,
that.
right? Because you're not
It is
properly
happening.
negating the sentiment
I
from
don't
the
have to.
material.
You're
You're not
negating
negating your own personal interests
I don't
and
have
what
to.
is
You're
happening
negating
with
yourself.
you in the scenario
Performing
and your personal
contradiction.
viewpoint, and instead you are self-projecting it onto the entire conversation without understanding that there is more to it than just that. Because I mean,
No, I've
you're
actually
trying
accepted a
to
lot.
um, command of me particular standards that then benefit your particular interest towards any utilities you may develop off of them,
No, not
right?
me.
Even if
Not me,
there is
us.
overlap or us, whatever. I don't really care. It doesn't involve me, right? Because I'm not trying to be informed. That's not. That's
Yeah.
a you thing, right?
But you are you're
But
performing the
what is
contradiction
in
over and
fact
over
the
and over
case
again.
instead
You appeal to
is that
input,
I don't
just
have
like
these
2
same
minutes ago.
interests that you try to
You need
develop
input, you
utilities
don't
off
need
of.
input.
And so
You're
there's no
performative
reason for me
contradictions.
to fall into what you're saying, besides very basic like abstract parts of the thesis rather than the entire thing. So but you're
Thank
going
you for your
to
contribution. Thank you for
see.
those
I just
wonderful
this doesn't.
contributions. I
This doesn't.
appreciate
This
it.
doesn't like. This doesn't. I don't see like what you're trying to achieve by marking that they may contribute something to whatever utility you see. That doesn't
I was
affect me.
basically my achievement was utility and courtesy, which I seem to have achieved with you. I appreciate your
What
courteous
courtesy?
interaction. I appreciate your courteous interchanges by
Oh
supplying
yeah.
and
Well,
contributing to this conversation. You've actually provided some educational benefit and utility to the conversation. And given the fact that you are willing to take turns with an interlocutor, despite the personal benefit you attain from it, you've now entered into a courteous transaction. So that's all I really wanted. I appreciate that for you. I love this for us.
for us. What? What? Well, anyway. So the original conversation was about what education being child abuse.
Yeah, education is not child abuse.
Yeah, I don't think education is child abuse either, but I do think that the modern education system is dysfunctional, and there are elements to education, not as a result of the nature of education itself, but the people involved that could contribute to child abuse.
Then it's child abuse.
That doesn't make the entire field child abuse just because there is child abuse within it.
Fine. Then why don't you take
Yeah.
out? So why don't you allow for children to choose, and then you reduce the child abuse to zero? A child that doesn't want to.
No, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. But I think what is more important in schools at the moment, than just choosing if they go or not, is teaching them independent learning,
No,
and epistemic norms.
no,
Absolutely.
no.
What?
A child should be able to choose to go to work and start their lives.
I'm not against like child labor necessarily, as long as there's the proper like restrictions and understandings. That's completely fine. Yeah,
Like what?
there should be regulation to that.
That's up to the child. The
Otherwise,
child.
it's just not. Well, I mean, here's the thing: children, us as a species, we have this tendency to come out half baked, right? And there's a lot of reasons for this. It's likely just due to like I guess the benefits of having a higher degree of neuroplasticity that allows us to come out half baked, right? And then when we do, it's like, hold on one sec, I've just been DM'd something. Let me just go check.
Wait, we lost. What was the other guy's name?
We lost Shoshi.
Shoshi.
We lost Shoshi. Who the fuck is Trisha Jenner? And why have they sent me a what the fuck, bro?
Maybe
Why am I getting so many fucking thought friend requests? Hello, Teletos.
Oh, his name is Thelatos. Do you know him? Her.
I know Teletos. Teletos is why is Teletos got a fuck? Is that a dog in your profile, Teletos?
Yep.
You should change it to the owl again. That was cooler. I don't like dogs. Dogs are like gross.
Dogs don't like you.
Actually, there are plenty of dogs that like me. I like big dogs, but not ugly big dogs, right? I like German Shepherds and Golden Retrievers and like Huskies, but I don't like big fucking disgusting things. Oh, I do like Tibetan Mastiffs. Those are cool. They're because they're so big and fluffy,
Overlord,
like giant fluff balls.
Overlord,
Yeah.
what's your expertise in life?
I work in biochem.
So what's your proposition in biochem? Do you have a proposition in biochem?
What do you mean by like my theses on like biochem?
What would you say that is contra the mainstream narrative in your field? Like you must have some,
Yeah, sure.
what's your revelation?
Yeah, so I do I do subscribe to the idea of genetic intelligence and epigenetic, like, what's the term? Epigenetic dependency on prior genomes. So that usually makes many people like angry because they're retarded.
So what's your proposition?
Yeah, so I subscribe to the idea of genetic intelligence and like
What does it mean?
psychology.
What is genetic intelligence? That intelligence is genetic?
The intelligence resulting off of genetic factors. Yes, I do believe that genetics do play a role in intelligence. Although it is predicated on environmental factors first, the effects of the environmental factors are first determined in their extent by genetics in the first place, and thus it is still genetically dependent.
So that's not biochem. You don't have any revelation in biochem?
What?
You don't have any revelation, any revolutionary revelation in biochem? It's fine, I mean.
Well, I have ideas around ZNF and C2H using protein structures, but I haven't properly patented theories or concepts, so I'm not going to disclose those publicly.
As a biochemist, do you have a theory of how the first cell evolved from
You mean Lana?
what is Lana? The first cell is
Lana is the hypothetical first cell, yeah. The hypothesized first cell.
do you
I mean, there's no way of I don't know why people prove it. Just because there is a high probability of something being the case doesn't make it inherently the case. I'm not saying it's like not probable, because I mean that's what it's based on, the probability. But probability is not the entire story, so it's kind of
So wait a minute. You know that the first cells that we have evidence in the fossil fuel record are as old as basically the cooling of the Earth's crust. Do you know
that's
that?
not. There's actually no evidence for Lana. What do you mean?
No,
The only evidence for Lana is probable.
the strolomites. Do you know the strolomites?
Those are very, very fucking old cells. Those aren't the first cell. There's like no evidence that suggests this.
Wait, I looked it up on Wikipedia yesterday. That the oldest fossil record of cells we have.
Yeah, those are the oldest fossil records. That doesn't make them the first cell necessarily. There's like no proof that they inherently were. Just because,
No, I'm
it's not,
saying
just because it explains the situation doesn't make it the case. That's called argument from ignorance and like violates epistemic norms.
no, I'm saying the fossil record says that the oldest, but as far as we know, there was life. I'm not saying first there was life, but there was life on this planet in the form of strolomites. Well, how do you pronounce it? Stratelomites? Are you familiar?
Just type it inside chat. Just type it inside chat for me.
I'll have to look it up on Wikipedia. Oldest fossil of life. Cyanobacteria. Where's Wikipedia?
Are you talking about stromatolites? Right?
Stromatolites. Yes, stromatolites.
Yeah, stromatolites
you have a link?
are the earliest evidence of life.
Could
There's no proof that they're the earliest known. They are the earliest known life, right?
Could you link?
And
Could you link?
they're like basically, huh?
Could you link it in the chat? Stratelomite.
Stromatolites. Okay, let me just quickly stromatolites loading. All right, let me just scroll down. Okay, so they're cited in a Wikipedia page, but for some reason these fuckers didn't put their own like here we are. Never mind, found it. All right, there we go. I'll just send you the I'll send you the
No,
Wikipedia
I
inside
pasted
chat.
it. I pasted.
Yeah, those are stromatolites. Yeah, they're not the they're the earliest known form of life. They're not inherently the earliest life. There's no proof that they are. It could be the case, but these are like the earliest fossils we have. It's not inherently the case. And there's plenty of evidence to suggest that there's common ancestors of other cells that existed later. That would imply that this isn't the case.
The point is that there was life on Earth right after the Earth's crust cooled down enough to host life on Earth. So, isn't that weird?
Not really. Oh my god, wow, life appeared when it was likely to appear. It's fucking
No,
crazy. Like, it's
not
not that
likely.
deep.
I'm not saying. I wouldn't say likely. Like if you would ask me, when was it likely for life to appear on Earth? I would never say as soon as the Earth's crust cooled down enough to host life. That's the least expected time for life to have appeared on Earth. That's the least likely.
What? Okay, so you're saying, hold on, like, first of all, that's like, what's the basis for this?
Why would life evolve on Earth right as soon as life can exist on Earth? It's as if there's the law of nature that life, because of this law of nature, life simply waits for the second that a place becomes hospitable for life to appear. So that's bizarre. That's the least expected. That's the most unlikely. When I heard that is when life appeared, that's the most unlikely period I would expect life to appear.
That's called proportionality bias and doesn't inherently speak to reality.
What do you mean? Why would life appear as soon as life can be hosted? It's as if life.
Because that's like saying, oh my god, why the fuck would the bread bake as soon as I put it to the temperature it would begin baking? It's crazy.
It sounds
Wow.
no, come on. It sounds like life. It sounds like the planet was this club that everybody wants to get into, and there is a line outside of life that wants to get into Earth, and as soon as meaning, and life is always getting into Earth and it's burning up because the Earth is a ball of lava. But as soon as the crust cools down just enough, boom, life shows up. So that means life was right outside waiting. It doesn't sound like life evolved on Earth. That sounds like panspermia. Do you know panspermia? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I know what panspermia is, and it's like, I mean transpermia, not panspermia, but yeah,
There's
that's like not at all.
Wait, I looked it up yesterday on Wikipedia. Panspermia. You're saying there's transpermia? What? What's that?
Huh?
Are you
1
driving?
second, I'm busy with something.
Overlord, are you driving? What is that noise?
Sorry, 1 sec. I was just fucking around. I was just tuning my violin.
Tuning your wagon? Your what?
No, my violin. I was tuning my violin.
You play the violin?
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Only recently. I've only been playing for a few weeks now. It's I mean, I can play Ode to Joy, so
Wait,
it's like whatever.
are you very young?
Am I very young? No, I'm 23. I've only just started.
Okay.
I just decided to get it because I wanted something that would make me less depressed.
Less depressed?
Yeah.
Why not get a dog or a cat?
I already have many cats.
And that doesn't help your depression?
No, no. I do really want to get I'm gonna get a husky soon. That'll be cool. I might get and I'm gonna get some African snails too because
How do you explain that
just
everyone?
like it. I'm gonna.
You gonna go?
How do I what?
You said you're gonna do something. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna get African snails and I'm gonna get a husky and a rabbit as well soon.
Your house is gonna smell terrible with all these animals, no?
No, it's not. I have a really big house.
Are you a multi-billionaire?
Am I a multi-billionaire? No. I have a lot of money, but I'm not a multi. I'm nowhere near a multi-billionaire. No.
Wait, but you do make a lot of money
Yeah.
because you trade in stocks?
No, I don't trade in stocks. Well, I do have stocks. I have some Fortune 500 for like a little bit of passive income, but it's just biochem. I work in biochem.
Oh, you make millions in biochem?
Not million. Well, I mean, over a few years, I guess I make millions. But but usually I only make like 20,000, 40,000 a month, depending on how many contracts I take up.
Wait, are you independent? Are you like
Am I independent?
you have your own business?
Yes, but I work with a lot of companies.
That's amazing. So, are you getting married?
Am I getting married? No, that sounds really no. No, I know I haven't really found anyone like that because everyone's kind of oh I don't know, just men suck, and all the women I've been with are like mentally ill, and horrible.
Wait, what? All the women
Yeah,
are mentally ill and horrible?
like all the ones I've been with. I'm not saying all women are, but all the ones I've been with have been.
How is that possible? Well, that is statistically unlikely.
Well, I don't know why, but for some reason, every single woman I've interacted with who's like bipolar has just immediately been into me, and it's
How do
like
you
really freaky.
how do you find bipolar? I've never met anyone who is bipolar.
I don't know. It's like a really weird statistical occurrence. To be fair, though,
Hmm.
the two women I am talking about were related and in a similar area, so it does make sense. It's just
How do you find women?
uh,
How do you find them?
how do I find them? Well, I mean, it usually used to be through like college, other times in bars and that kind of thing. Just,
Oh,
I suppose the issue is they're all very colloquial, they're all very
colloquial? What does that mean?
coverage, I guess. Like
Average?
they're very, I find them in typical areas, and I'm not a typical person.
Where do you
So
live?
it's like currently I live in the UK.
Oh, are you Irish?
Am I Irish? No, I'm from Guernsey.
What is that? That's Scotland?
No, no, it's betwixt England and France. It's a small island.
Oh, it's an island between England and France, so you speak French
Yeah.
and German.
Je peux parler en très petit français quand je prendrai ça en école. Euh, et quand mais c'est mauvais. Euh, Quand mon prof, c'était mauvais. Quand l'école, c'était en école de la publique.
What do you mean? But you're already 23. Why are you still going to like you're doing your masters, your PhD?
No, no, no. No, no. I said I used to. Like,
Oh,
j'apprendrai.
oh,
Yeah, I learned. Yeah.
oh,
I don't still. Yeah. The school and c'était
mm,
uh l'école de public.
hmm. So how do you speak German?
How do I speak? I've only picked up on a little bit of German. Mostly from like I do a lot of brain training exercises where I try to recognize as many words from as many languages as possible. So I will know at least a few words in like a lot of languages. Currently I'm just focusing on learning Japanese though, and I know quite a bit of French. And I did an anthropological study on Australian Aboriginal people before.
Hmm.
That was interesting, and because of that, I do know quite a bit of Wagaman, which is a small, almost extinct Aboriginal language, but you can find a lot of information on it because of the like attempts to preserve it. So that's useful.
Hmm. How tall are you?
Around 5'6", 5'7".
Hmm. Okay, so how do you end? Why? I mean, you are an amazing person. You should be able to find normal chicks. I've never interacted with any chick that's not like normal. I'm very old. I've interacted.
I don't know.
It's weird. Like, don't
Uh,
you use what about Tinder or Bumble or
no,
why
I
not?
haven't used many dating apps. I mean, I did try it for a bit, but I just kind of got creeped out after a while because of the amount of people on there.
What? But the chicks, that's
Yeah.
all I use. I've traveled the world and I've used Tinder and Bumble everywhere in the world. And you find very normal chicks everywhere. I've never found a chick.
Yeah, you probably do. I'm not denying that. I suppose I might. It's just like I haven't really. It's just I'm not really looking for any one night stands or anything.
I'm not. n- I'm not. I always look for relationships. I'm not interested in anything one night. That's
Yeah.
but I'm trying to understand. Like you're saying, women are psychotic and horrible. All the
Well,
women.
at least the ones I've been with.
Like I went today to do yoga, and all the women were fantastic. Just
Yeah. Well, I used to know this one girl.
hmm
Who I used to date. I think it was in either it
hmm
was like late high school and then into college as well. It was a long time I dated her, right? And she was not well, you call it high school, it's secondary school for me, but
hmm
she was um she was very bipolar, like obviously. And I didn't really have many friends. I didn't like people. I kind of avoided them, so I kind of felt bad for her.
hmm
She didn't really have any either, but because people just hated her, so
hmm
I felt bad for her and tried to help her with a lot of the issues she had. But she was I'll avoid details, but she did a lot of things I was uncomfortable with, like quite frequently when I told her not to, and that was pretty freaky. Um,
What did she do?
and
She did what frequently?
like she did a lot of things I was uncomfortable with that I told her not to,
Okay.
like quite frequently. I'll
Like
avoid the
what?
details on that there, but
Okay. Okay.
yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I ended up breaking up with her after a while. Well, technically she was, I mean, we was kind of an on-off relationship. Like sometimes I'd actually just get sick of her because of the way
Did
she was treating me.
Did you
And then
love?
eventually I would just forgive her again.
Did you love her?
Not really,
Did you
no.
ever love a girl?
It was kind of this. There was one I did, and that, ironically enough, it was her cousin. Which was very awkward.
Was she?
Uh,
Was she?
she
Wait. Was she hot?
I mean, she wasn't. No, it was more of like I thought I could relate to her quite a lot, and I was kind of. I suppose it was more about the idea than it was her, to be honest.
Uh, uh,
But eventually,
aren't you?
it went well for a while, but she wasn't. I wasn't really with her, right? It was kind of a fling. She was cheating on her boyfriend with me,
Mhm.
but that's because she used to tell me that her boyfriend was like abusive and she didn't know if she wanted to leave because she was scared, even though like I thought that was stupid. But I went along with that anyway
Mhm.
for a while,
Mhm.
until eventually, after getting kind of sick of her, I ended up finding out some very horrible things that she did in the past, and there was quite a lot of reason to believe it.
Mhm.
And
But you loved her?
it kind of made sense. Yeah, but then I ended up not because I found out she was really she was into like men and women obviously, and I found out she did some like horrible things to like small girls before, according to some people. Like there was a lot of information about that, and that was so I kind of got uncomfortable with that and exposed the whole thing to her boyfriend and
Mhm.
all of this. And for
Mhm.
some reason they were still together, but it makes sense because they're both psychotic and like disgusting. So
Mhm.
that's fine.
Mhm.
So I showed it to her family instead. And that
Mhm.
was interesting.
Mhm.
No, I don't know why. I just have a very strange life. Probably because I always move around a lot and like I have no connection besides pursuits and like the insane people I find along the way who just randomly come up to me because of those things
So
is
I
like the
think
best way of explaining it, I guess.
but okay, but I think you should look. I think first you should use Tinder and Bumble. Like one, like they both have certain advantages. At least use one of them. Tinder is the bigger one, but Bumble is like more selective. So I think it,
Mm.
but you should try it. I think that the girls on Bumble are higher quality, maybe, but you know, I think Bumble is very little work because
Yeah.
the girls approach you first, so it's pretty good. You should just get good profile pictures. If you want, we can review your profile pictures.
I mean, I've dated guys before as well, and there was
Oh,
this one. Well, I've only dated one guy before, and he was okay actually. But
what's your preference?
not thinking back on it, huh?
What's your preference, boys or girls?
I don't really care personally. It doesn't make a difference to me. But usually women are just
What do you,
easier to.
wait, you watch porn, right? Everyone watches porn. So what do you watch? Do you watch men or women or both? Or
I mean, occasionally it's like it just but not really that often. No,
you
not recently. I've been to no. I usually just use like audios when it's that kind of thing. To be honest.
audiobooks? What do you
Oh yeah,
do
like
audios?
audios or like
What's
that sort
audio
of yeah.
mean? What?
No, like I don't know. I'm kind of uncomfortable talking about it.
That's
But
okay. No, it's fine. No, I'm just curious.
yeah.
No, I don't
No,
care.
I don't really.
I don't care about what you like personal. Hey, Obeda. No, I'm
What does hey guys, I'm retarded. What does spiteful mean?
we're all retarded. Spiteful means just to get people upset.
Okay, you're a faggot.
Thank you. You're the best.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's your opinion on Israel?
Israel is great and should keep blowing the shit out of Gaza. Just like fucking wipe it from that, sink it into the Mediterranean.
I'm
Is
pro.
that a female I hear?
No, we're all men. No, my opinion is I'm pro Israel, but Israel created Hamas, so Israel should just stop funding Hamas and everything will be fine.
I mean, it's a pretty good excuse to
I'm
just blow
pro
up
Hamas.
Palestinians,
I'm
though, to
pro
be fair.
Hamas
Why?
because I'm a Muslim.
So you're pro Hamas?
Why do you sound gay if you're Muslim?
Why do you sound transgender? We can ask the same questions.
Well, quite simple, actually. It's because I have a hormone imbalance. So there you go.
So you're transgender? Ew, yuck.
No, because I have a hormone imbalance. So just to answer your
All
question.
is cursing you.
Do you know what a hormone imbalance is?
Yeah, it
Or are you
means you're
retarded?
gay.
No. I mean, it's like, I mean, if I wanted to, I could, like, pick you up by the throat and just, like, kick the shit out of you. Like, I could rape you if I wanted to. I wouldn't, because you're probably very sexually unattractive. But
No,
in
you sound
theory,
like a little
I could.
girl.
That's cool. I still
I
could
don't
beat
know
the
what
fuck
you
out of you.
are. It
What's your
says
bench?
female. It
What's
says
your bench?
female.
What's your bench? What's your bench? What's your bench?
Sir or ma'am, I don't work
What's
out.
your bench? You don't work out? Oh, right, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay,
Let
yeah.
me see. Let me see you. I want to see what you are.
You want to see? You want to see what I am? You want to see what I look
Yeah.
like? Dox yourself first. Pull up cam right now.
Nah, I asked you first.
You don't
We
want
don't
to?
know if you-
You don't want
we
to?
don't know if
Okay,
you're a
well, never
man
mind
or a
then.
female. This
You don't
guy
want to?
sounds.
You don't want to? That's really weird. Isn't
This
that
female
crazy?
sounds fat. We don't like fat people.
I'm actually not fat. I'm actually like
You sound really fat.
60
Maybe it's just
kilograms.
that hormone shit.
I'm like 60 kilos and like 5'7", so no, I'm
Oh,
not
so
fat.
that's low
Not even near fat.
testosterone.
That's not even low. No, I have like higher testosterone for a woman.
No,
That's
is
not
that
how
why
that
you sound like
works.
that? Is that why you sound like a man? I don't know what you are. What are you?
Yes, it's like it's kind of like you don't need to know what I am, bub.
Are you
Like
a
you I
man
mean
or a
you can
female?
keep theorizing. What do you want me to be? Let's ask that.
I want you not to be a fat ass
So
that
you
sits
want to
on your
know
butt.
what genitals I have because you're sexually attracted to me. You want to know if it's okay to be off
No,
me.
I'm not into
I mean, do you want to
like
do you want me
fat
to like answer a
asses.
question now, or do you want to kiss me and like try find out how it feels?
Nah, I don't know what you are.
What about like this you know, how do you want to work it out?
How many hours a day do you spend on Discord?
How many hours a day do I spend on Discord?
Exactly.
Like probably like one, to be honest.
No, don't lie to yourself, fat ass.
No, probably like one, to be honest. I mean, I do count like running it
You're
in the
asking for a
background.
knuckle sandwich right now.
You're asking for a nickel sandwich right now.
You sound a lot like me, ma'am.
You sound a lot like me, man.
Progressive, female, British. Ew, British.
I'm not
Ew.
British. I'm from Guernsey originally, but I do live in the UK.
Yeah, so you're British. I bet
It's
your
not
teeth
how it
are
works.
ugly. Your teeth
Yeah,
are
okay, you're just
ugly.
trolling. You're just trolling.
Your teeth are ugly. You sound like
Let's
a
read your roles. You got no roles at all. You got no
I'm
roles.
from
No
Israel
roles.
originally.
You're from Israel? Oh, really?
I'm from Israel originally.
Israel?
I don't speak that language.
You don't speak Hebrew?
No, I don't
No,
speak
Ivrit?
Hebrew.
Okay, and
I'm
you say
from
you're from Israel originally?
I'm an Arab. Fahim.
You're an Arab, so you're molding because we're nuking the shit. We're like bombing the shit out of you and killing your kids, and you can't do anything about it.
That's okay because we spent a great day. You know, we had a lit dance party in Nova in Kibbutz Berry. That shit was lit. We were like dancing.
It was
with the
lit,
bomb
and you
and
know what?
shit.
It's fine. We decided to bring the party bombs to your place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the party
Yeah.
continues with Shani Lok. They rescued her ass. I bet she was getting raped for like 8 months straight. Holy shit.
That's crazy. You know, it doesn't
Those
really change the
Hamas
fact that
members must have had so much
what?
fun
Let
with
me
that
see.
thing.
How many humanitarian supplies going into Palestine? Oh
Yo,
wait,
shit.
none. All the
I
boats
want
got
to see that
stopped.
bitch's pussy
They
after
got
Hamas
turned
is done with
around.
that. I
And
want to see
what's
Shani
happening
Lok's
to the
pussy
tunnels?
after
Oh
Hamas is
wait,
done with that.
bombed. What's happening to like Arab children? Oh wait,
Oh,
bombed. What's
I wonder.
happening to your hospitals? Oh wait,
I
bombed.
wonder what
What
Chef
happens to your
Beef tastes
infrastructure?
like.
Oh wait, bombed. What? Oh wait, what happens to your fucking like Hamas fighters? Oh wait, they all got fucking murked because they have no tanks, no viable weapons.
I wonder what
What
little
happens to all the
Kiffer
women and
Vivas looks
children?
like.
Bombed.
I wonder what
What
little
happened?
Kiffer Vivas
Oh
is
wait, what
doing right
happened? What
now.
happened during the 7 Years War? Oh wait, we won. All right, yeah. What happened during like
You're
1948?
not
Oh
good
yeah, we won.
English. You're
What
not
happened in
good.
every single war that happened against Israel? Oh yeah, we won. We fucking won
That doesn't
every
change the
single
fact.
time.
That doesn't change the fact that Hamas raped the shit out of y'all on
It doesn't
October
even
7th.
matter if they did, bro. So that's like the perfect excuse to just kill your women and children. You can sit there with a
Yeah.
face, smug
You
face,
guys
like,
are stomping
ah
in
ha
Gaza and getting
ha.
let enough.
We fucking got one of
There's no
yours. That's
we.
fine. For
You
every
want
single
Israel we.
one Israeli that is killed, every single one, there will be over 200 Gazans killed.
I don't
Every
think the
single
math
fucking
works.
time, okay? And
I
there
don't
is
think the math
nothing in
works.
the
Let's
world.
do the
No
math.
matter how many
1,600
chants that are
Israelis
shouted, no
versus
matter how many
5,000.
like how many fucking intifadas you try to throw at us, there
Oh
will
yeah,
be
we're gonna rape
no
you Jewish
sparing
bitches
them,
again
and
like
there
it
will
was
be
a
no victory
Holocaust.
for Palestine. There will be no victory for the Arab world over Israel, and on top of that,
I can't wait for all
it is
these
not
Muslims
even
begging for them. That's
close
so
to the
loud.
value of one Israeli life, because
I'm a proud white
one Israeli life
Muslim.
is worth the entire Arab race. Okay, if we wanted
Yeah,
to,
10
we could drop
million
an
to 2
ethnobomb
billion.
tomorrow. Okay, we have genetically engineered viruses that target Arab genes, and this is public knowledge. We could
Yo,
release that
show me
tomorrow,
show me
and
the
there wouldn't be
knowledge.
shit. I'll send you like articles on the ethnobomb. Yeah, sure. Is the
Maybe you
Israeli
can get,
ethnobomb.
a cure for whatever like fucked up thing you have because you sound very unattractive.
I mean, I don't really care what you say. You sound very unattractive. Yeah, it's
I
like
can't tell
very
for hey, guy
rich. That's
talk,
rich coming from you.
Mr.
Alright,
Steve. Is this a female or a male? I'm still confused.
I'll send
We're,
I'll send
we're
the
just gonna
link
call him
inside
it.
chat.
It's Pride Month. We ain't gonna
I'm
mention
just gonna
names.
call
We
him
love Shani. Hey,
Why do you sound like that? Why do you speak like that, bub?
we love Shani Loke's dead pussy. Hamas is raping that shit for 6 months
It
straight.
doesn't even matter, bro. Like I don't
It
think you get
does
it. Like
matter.
for every load, that's
This
like
versus it
500
sounds like
bombs
a
on fucking Arab children, bro. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you can keep trying to make me angry, but it doesn't really. I'm not. This is more like a mania than like an anger. So
You
it's like
sound like a
whatever.
bottle of
Because
water.
at the end of the day, all that's gonna happen whenever every single time one Israeli is attacked by any Arab ever, it's gonna be, and then you're all gonna fucking die. It's like, what are you gonna do about it? You just can't do
You've been
anything about
doing
it
that, but
because we
Hamas
have
go
Jerusalem under our
around.
control, right? The West
What
Bank
do
is
you
under
mean
our
we?
control.
You aren't
Gaza
Israeli,
is doesn't
Habibi.
even exist anymore. To be honest, it's
We?
like
Hey,
rubble.
Habibi.
Like that's pretty sick. Like the whole of fucking like if we want like the whole of fucking every Hezbollah base, mostly rubble, besides ones near like big Lebanese like civilian centers because we like aren't retarded monkey people who go ooh ah ah. It's like whatever. Like I don't know about you, but Hamas, generally speaking, is over, and it's not even over for just Hamas. Across all of Europe, because we control their media and their banks. You know what's happening now? Far right politicians and like hard right politicians too are gaining massive traction, support, and endorsement from underground BlackRock facilities because of
This is why
this.
we're getting more
And now what's
Muslims.
happening? You know what's
More
happening
Muslims
now?
are
Do you know
coming.
what's happening now? Fucking every single Muslim in Europe that has that we've allowed, by the way.
taking over,
They only
baby.
did these things to Europe because we let them. All right, because
They're
we
taking over,
you are
baby.
our
Yeah,
bitches.
remember,
That's how
once
it
we get
works.
control
When
of
we are
Europe,
the
our
ones
regimes will go
who
against
gave
it
money
so
to
much so
Hamas
bad.
so that we could bomb Gaza. We gave money to Hamas so they could commit an attack, right? And there's plenty of proof for this. I mean, if you just look at any of the bank transactions prior,
It's my
right?
cartel.
We're the ones who gave the money to Hamas that they go over, that we blow down Gaza, right? And now what's happening is we're now using this sort of allegiance against the Islamic world to convince the far right that we've infiltrated, by the way, very much, and we've turned from anti-Jewish organizations, right? Easily into the most pro-Israeli groups ever, right? Which is perfect because it's really easy to convince Europeans of this shit, so that we can get Arabs to do that monkey shit that they always do, so we can kick them out, turn the entire world against them, and wipe them off the fucking map. And there's nothing you can do about it. We played you like
Keep
a fucking
dreaming,
fiddle.
baby. 2
Now
billion
what's gonna happen is
Muslims. 2
America's
billion
gonna get
Muslims
involved
and
at some
growing.
stage. We're gonna get rid of every single fucking Persian from the map, every single Arab. All of them are gonna fucking die. There's nothing you can do about it. It's because you're powerless. Because your
Islam's
whole
growing, baby.
civilization is
Islam's
like a
growing.
sand monkey shithole. It's perfect. It's like you've played right into our hands this entire time. You don't even realize it because you're like your monkey brain mentality. Like your retarded superstition screamed when you go into every single border. Next year, not only is Trump being elected, not only is Marine Le Pen being elected, right? Not only is Reform getting the majority, is going to get most of the seats in the UK. Doesn't even matter about the immigration because they're being cut off at France now, so we don't need to worry about an increase in
We're taking
immigration in
over
the UK.
London.
They're going to be thrown
Muslim.
back. That's another thing happening there. Not only that, but there's far right politicians in Germany. The attacks against them have only been used in the media to support them. So played right into our hands again, which is great and perfect. On top of that, right? Ukraine winning. You know who Ukraine hates? Fucking Muslims. They hate Muslims so much. You know what Russia loves? Muslims. And Ukraine is winning. And there's nothing you can do about that as well, either. On top of that,
You
I
running
mean,
out
we
of
can already
energy,
see
Fatty?
now that in other places in the Western world, look at Japan, right? There's a sudden rise recently in right wing ideals around that. I only see increasing in the long term as public concern increases around large social issues. This is great as well. I mean, that means we are gonna have the third largest economy in the world against your nation, the first largest economy in the world against your nation, and then the fourth. Not even that long after. It is perfect. It's this is great. And what are you really gonna do about it? I mean, Saudi Arabia is becoming more secular by the day, right? And it's a matter of time until they just get assimilated into the Western sphere of influence because they hate Shias so much. They only care about oil money, right? So that's that. So thank you for letting us win. So you can have
You dumb fat ass. You run out of breath.
what do you mean? What do you mean?
You run out
For
of breath,
fat
big
ass?
boy. I don't know what you
I
are.
mean, I can keep going if you want me to. I can just go on forever and ever and ever and ever. I don't think you understand how long I can yap for. I don't if you want to see, we can tango, but
I think you failed to make me mad. Is what happened.
I think you haven't made me mad, so it's whatever.
I think I did. You were pretty.
I mean, you
riled up
can
there.
think I did all you want. I'm not really here for your opinion. I'm here for insulting you for my own Schadenfreude. And you're the soy jack where he's crying behind the mask. That's you.
Oh my god, you really are chronically online.
Oh my god, you really are chronically online.
Yeah, but talking about that shit, guys.
Well, anyway, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but actually, what you said, I think, is true. I mean, the Israeli government, specifically Netanyahu, I think that I mean, he obviously funded Hamas. So this was
To keep himself in political power, yeah, due to
I
dynamic changes in Israel.
know. I don't know why he did it. He says, from what I understood, he was afraid that if Hamas was not supported, it would collapse. If it would collapse, I don't know what he thought would happen. That he thought would unite with the West Bank, and then it would stabilize. He was afraid of Gaza stabilizing. So and then they would want a state. So in order to prevent a state, so he supported Hamas in order to destabilize the region. That's how I see it. I mean,
I want to see what's going. Hold on 1 second. Let me have a look at what's going on in Japanese politics. I mean, it makes sense, right?
yeah.
Like logically, that would be what I would do. I want to see what's going on in Japan right now when it comes to the diet, because I know they're meant to be having elections in not that long. I'm really the issue with Japan is it's mostly just a one-party state. I'm really hoping that eventually what will happen is Japan will like get off their asses and start doing some interesting things on the global scale, because they easily could, right? If Japan repealed Article 9 and built a fucking nuclear arsenal, that's it. It's over for China, because Japan is a sleeping supergiant, right? They could build one of the largest militaries in the world if not for their constitution, right? And they could easily do this if there was just some demographic changes in regards to politics because of some like pressures. That would be really simple to do. And they're right next to, well, not right next to, but they're regionally close to Australia, which is not only a great ally of the West, but has an incredibly large, extensive degree of uranium deposits that they don't have enough money to turn into nuclear power plants due to the high initial costs. But with Japanese tertiary exchange, easily could, right? Easily could revolutionize the entire country in exchange, bringing uranium like supply to Japan, building possibly the largest nuclear like missile threat in the world. And they're allies with the United States. They're right next to Taiwan. They could easily ship over nukes, put them on Taiwan, and point them directly at China. What are they gonna do?
But
That's how you do it.
yeah, but in the long run, it's not military might that's going to win. In the long run, the economy is what determines
Yeah,
who
yeah. Japan will always win economically, though, because Japan's a tertiary economy. Their economy isn't based on natural resources; it's based on skill.
it, it doesn't. Fine, but who says that Japan's economy will, you know, will, from what I understand, Japan's economy is not that successful. What's the GDP?
That's not true.
What's the
Japan's the fourth largest economy in the world.
No, but the per capita. What is the GDP per capita in Japan?
That's like kind of irrelevant.
What do you mean? Japan's GDP per capita is expected to reach about 35,000. And what's the US?
No, the U.S. is the largest economy in the world.
No, per capita. Per capita is the
Yeah, I know.
average. Yeah, but that basically gives you the average quality of life, which
Yeah, but quality of life isn't the most important thing of the country.
quality of life is what?
Quality of life is not the most important thing of the country. Also, like the amount of money you have doesn't inherently determine your quality of life, given like major price differences in countries as well. So,
If GDP per capita, if quality of life is not important, then what is important?
like military strength and like also internal stability, which isn't inherently predicated on quality of life, but predicated on commitment, I suppose. Not to mention like the massive increase in like automated construction in Japan is like insane. Like it's great. It's like amazing. Automation in Japan is ahead of the rest of the world. Very successful economy. The only issue I see with Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
The Prime Minister's actually.
So here's an IMF forecast, but it's true for 2024. So the gray is the forecast. So the US is about $90,000 per year GDP per capita. So an average American makes about, I would say this is 90, so this is 85. It looks like $85,000.
Why is there so much lag?
There's lag.
Yeah.
In Japan, oh, it's very low. Look, Japan is like the one of the lowest. Japan's GDP per capita is very low. Oh my God. So you see, that's the problem. So the quality of life in Japan is very low. People,
That doesn't make the quality of life low. I don't know about you, but the hygiene and public health in Japan is amazing. Not to mention they have the highest lifespan in the world. So
these are features. So the GDP per capita, I think, is the most defining statistical tool we have to feel to get a feel for average quality of life. Like how big are their cars? How big are their homes? How new are their homes? How much meat do they eat? How many shoes do they buy? You know, like an actual quality of life.
those are not. Those are just. Those. That's just consumerism. That's not good.
What do you mean that's quality of life? You can,
No, consumerism and disposable income is not quality of life.
what do
That's
you mean?
also
The
obesity.
size of your house, that's your quality.
That's such an American way of thinking. That's like it's horrible.
What do you
No,
mean? You want
such a horrible American perspective.
no,
Like, I mean, first of all, quality of life, I guess, really is subjective, but it's just like, again, like the effects of this are not good. Oh, one second, let me just check something. I know if it was right. Budget shortfall. Okay. Um. Right. Okay. Let's see. So it's okay. Right. Yeah.
listen, I've been streaming for 2 hours. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
One second. But you've been streaming.
Yeah, I'm streaming. This is all
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool.
streamed. Here, you can have a link to the stream. It's recorded.
Yeah, sure.
You might have a good time watching yourself, listening to yourself. It was really interesting. Anyway,
Probably not. No.
try.
Oh no. That means my whole rant about Israel versus Palestine is going to be on there.
Oh, it's funny. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. So, do you Are you here? Like sometimes, maybe we can continue the conversation next time.
One second. Let me just. Yeah, I'm here sometimes.
That's
Yeah,
good.
not often, but yeah.
Okay, so I'll see you around. I'm gonna go now.
All right. See you.
See you. Thanks for coming by. All right. So that was very interesting. Okay, we're gonna end it here. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye.